Are your headphones backwards, Dad? I think they're backwards. Well, it says right and left on them, so you know which way.
Yeah.
It's on like the knobs right here.
Yeah, but this, I have to have the cord over here. Are they backwards?
Let me see.
Does it matter?
Left, right. Okay. See, so it goes around. I think that might hold your hair back a little more.
Yeah, if I'd have had those on backwards, I would have asked the questions in reverse. Hey everybody, welcome to our number 6, I believe, on the podcast. Okay. Hey everybody, welcome to number 5 on the podcast. Very excited to have my guest in here today, Miss Mackenzie. She's from down at the coast and started with us, quite a bit of time ago. Pre-marriage, pre-baby, and I can't wait to hear her story. I can't wait for her to share her story with you as well, because I think a lot of times when I may stand up in front of the room on a manager's meeting or get on Workplace and I say, yeah, this is an opportunity for you, this can happen, that can happen, and I think sometimes some of you out there go, huh, really? So I have somebody in here that believes in our culture and also knows exactly what I'm talking about and is bought in, has faith, has hope, has all of the stuff that we need in Highway 55. But so yeah, good to have you.
Thank you.
Are you excited about being here?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Whenever I got the message saying that Isabel or you were interested in having me on the podcast, I was like, oh my gosh, that is super, super crazy. Like, I didn't think that, never in a million years I'd be sitting like face to face with like the Highway 55 CEO 7 years ago whenever I started, just as a normal waitress,
It hadn't been 7 years.
Yeah, it's been 7 years.
Oh my gosh, so you started when you were like 12?
16.
16, oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was, basic high school job, just trying to kind of start with extra money in my pocket, just trying to.
Did you have a specific extra money goal that you wanted to accomplish, or you just didn't want to ask mom and dad for money to go out?
Pretty much, yeah. I, paying gas to get to and from work, have extra spending money so I can save up for college and that kind of stuff. So, just to try and get myself.
Yeah, we crushed all those college dreams, didn't we? Or did
yeah.
We? Yeah. Okay. Good. We'll get there. Just so you know. But yeah. So tell us about yourself, though. About your family, growing up, and all that. A little bit pre-Highway 55.
Okay.
I like for people to get to know people, and not just the work people, but people.
Exactly. Yeah. So I actually am from Goldsboro originally. My dad was stationed in the military here. Yeah.
Wow.
So after my dad retired, we decided to move to Wilmington just to kind of get away from, just where we're from, kind of
Sure.
get ourselves just out of our comfort zone, kind of. So whenever I moved to Wilmington, I went there for college, did a little bit here and there. My plan was to go for a visual arts degree because I'm a big, big art nerd. And whenever I started college, I started in Leland. And whenever I went to Leland, I was just kind of working here and there. And then I was like, I want to work in a store where I can grow, I can be a manager. And so after I did that college, I, took that interest into, hey, I'm in Highway 55. I enjoy this so much. So I kind of stopped going to college and took on that manager role. And I want to say
let me stop you real quick, because it's not that we want people, obviously, to quit going to school.
Oh, yeah.
But two things had to have happened right then. One, what did your parents say about it? And two, at the end of the day, what was it that really made you go, I think I can make a future here and actually save some money instead of paying all this tuition and not quite knowing where I'm going anyway. So
Yeah.
Is that fair, what I just said? And let's start with your parents. Literally, they're like, okay, you want to work in a hot dog and hamburger stand the rest of your life. How did you sell them on doing what you ended up doing? Or did you have to? Because, look, I'm a military brat, too. I don't know if you knew that about me.
I didn't.
Yeah. My dad was a 20-year Marine, and when you're raised with military fathers, let's just say they can be slightly overbearing from time to time, and so I'm sure he was like, oh, sure, yeah, quit school and go flip burgers.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was all in on that. But tell me how that went down.
Yeah, so, everybody has that, mentality, oh, if you don't go to college, you're just going to be flipping burgers for a living. And, they're right. I do flip burgers for a living, but I enjoy that. I'm passionate about that because it's more than just flipping burgers, it's having that connection, one-on-one with people, having that, special sort of connection with, you know, just knowing how people's day is going and knowing like what's going on in their life. And it's kind of, I don't
You're
know.
talking about your staff and your guests, or are you talking about one or the other when you said?
Really talking about both.
Anybody that walks through that door.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
So just having that kind of personal connection with everybody is like the part I'm most passionate about. Like I'm very much of a people person, and I don't think like, you know, working in like a big sort of like, I don't know, field where I'm just kind of like in my own space, you know what I mean?
Cubicle stuck
Yeah,
over there in the corner. Yeah.
And
when people steal your stapler. Yeah, I
exactly,
got you.
exactly. So I think being able to kind of, you know, show who I am, get to know these people is like what makes me enjoy it so much.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so back to your dad though.
Yeah, so
How did he take it?
I mean, he is one of those people, he's like, if you want to do it, do it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But, you know.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so he was just kind of like, you know, try it out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if it does, then, you know, good for you kind of thing. So
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and it's nice to, like, being able to, like, prove people wrong. Like, yeah, like, you know, I've done it. Like, I'm where I want to be, so.
You know, it's funny you say that because I call it's just a little bit of a chip on your shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And I don't think anybody can be successful, truly successful in whatever their field is or whatever their family or what, if you don't have a little bit of a chip. You gotta have something that drives you, okay, to be the best at what you can possibly be. And the naysayers I've always loved, because look, I had the exact same line, you know. I had a friend from college one time literally say to me, or say to a friend of mine, oh man, I saw Kenney Moore in Goldsboro. Bless his heart. I mean, he's just cooking hamburgers in the mall, you know. And that was 1991. That was 32 years ago now. And yeah, you know, cooking hamburgers has been pretty good to me and my family. It's been pretty good, but more importantly to me, it's been pretty good to a lot of other families too. You know, it's given them opportunity to potentially change their family trees, or to, you know, at least have a place they want to go to work and they're excited because they like what the challenge of the day is going to bring. And so yeah, I was flipping burgers. I was flipping every one of them, but flipping burgers has been pretty good to us. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Matter of fact, that's part of a chip. You know, when people demean our industry or demean what we do, kind of pisses me off.
Same.
It really does. So, I know you're all in on Love Your Neighbor. I don't think you have it tattooed on you like Jay and I do, but you're all in on Love Your Neighbor. What does that mean to you?
Oh man, it's so hard to explain to me because it just comes to me naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Love your neighbor to me just means, you know, like I'm a selfless person. I'm not selfish. So I am going to, you know, the homeless man comes into our store and he wants water. I'm going to give him a cup of water.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If he wants food, I'm going to give him some food.
Absolutely.
If I have, you know, a
Have
single...
you had that actually happen to you?
Oh, yeah.
Because I did in Goldsboro too, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if a single mom comes in, she's struggling on her bills, you know, hey, I'm going to make your kid happy, so you can kind of have that breather, like, while you're in here, to just kind of, you know, chill out, take a moment to relax, let me have fun with your kid, and, you know, just enjoy a meal while you're here.
That's so awesome. And see, I one of my biggies lately has been in the stores has been, y'all, matter of fact, I've started a new rule: keep your phones in the back. No phones are, you know, allowed out front, because when you do that, you're missing the A in care. You're not alert and aware if you're on your phone. You won't even recognize that guy's homeless. You won't even recognize that that's a single mom who looks haggard, looks tired, looks like life's kind of beat on her a little bit, you know? And when you go over there and you're not, the single mom has dignity too.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't want you to pay for her food. But when you say, come here, let me go show, like in some of our stores, we have robots now. Let me take your kid and go show him the robot. Or have you seen my robot? And you actually say, I'm gonna make it so you can breathe tonight. So you can, you know, when you do that, you are leading with your heart, and that's special. And that's what Love Your Neighbor is. I think you nailed it. with the examples that we have. And look, when we're alert and aware, you see opportunities to do that. You see opportunities to extend yourself. I mean, do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, whenever I have kids come in, I'm best with kids.
I am too. No offense, but I like them more than adults. But go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're fun. They're so
Because
fun.
they're real too.
Exactly.
You know?
And
Your
that's-
breast stinks. Oh, hey, wow. You know, they're going to tell you. You're going to get the real from them. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And so some of the things that I do to kind of connect with kids the most, a lot of kids like to kind of prove their smartness. So, I'm like, oh, can you count to 4? And, I'll give you 4 kid stickers with your car so you can decorate. Or, oh, like,
awesome.
What color is this? It's red? Oh, cool. Your color's nice. Or my best ones are like, oh, how old are you? And they're like, oh, I'm 4. And I'm like, no, you don't look like you're 4. You look like you're so much older than that. That back and forth, just kind of argument, like them trying to prove
And they
me
warm
wrong.
up.
Yeah.
They warm up and take, but because does your staff follow your lead on that? Do they do that as well?
Oh yeah. A lot of them are definitely like they enjoy kids more than some of the adults, but in a good way, you know what I mean?
It's funny you said that. I think Isabel, who's in the room right now, saw me do it with a kid in, I want to say it was Fort Payne, Alabama. We gave him his kid's card and he didn't have any stickers. Mm-hmm. And so I said, oh, you don't have any stickers? And of course, he had a brother who had stickers, so there's no way that was gonna fly, right? So I went over and I said, I was gonna see if I can find you some stickers. And I went over and I actually licked, which I'm sure the parents greatly appreciated, the fact that I licked the sticker. And I stuck them to my forehead. And I went back to him, I said, I am so sorry, I can't find any stickers. It looks like we don't have any more. And of course, they're stuck on my forehead all the time. And he started giggling and laughing. And it was just a neat moment to have with that little kid. And now, from a business side too, there's a real good chance he told his parents he wanted to eat there again. Mm-hmm. There's a real good chance that he wanted to go see the crazy guy that put the stickers on his forehead too. Now, granted, I would have been gone by that point, but hopefully, even as a CEO, I sent a message to the staff and sent a message to everybody around me that, look, man, these can be our biggest little fans. Just like what we believe in, and I know you do, and I want to get to this, is our foundation. We try to take care of kids. The adults, yes, we're all about, like you say, feeding a homeless guy or making sure a single mom has that moment. But our true heart for servitude with our foundation is kids. And I know that's been a big part of your journey as well in Highway 55. So what does the Highway 55 Foundation mean to you? Obviously, it was originally the Andes Foundation, and now the Highway 55 Foundation.
Yeah, I still call it the Andes Foundation because it's still Andes on the inside,
Absolutely.
But to me, if I were ever in the situation to where my son had cancer, or if we had a house burned down or something like that, I would hope that there'd be people in my community to kind of reach out and say, hey, we got this, let us take care of you. So
especially now, because it seems like communities are so divided now. Everybody's kind of stays in their own little world. And anyway, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so
I'm not going to go on a rant. We don't have enough time, but please go ahead. Yeah.
So being able to know that there's someone out there who can help that and kind of take some weight off my shoulders, it makes me really appreciate that. And the fact that all this goes to children is the big thing for me. Like I said earlier, I enjoy kids. I love kids. So being able to help those kids out, since they've kind of helped us out in the store, like it.
But how do you get your staff fired up about it? It's one thing for you to be excited about it, and you have a child, so you can literally make that mama connection to it. But how do you get a 17-year-old who really right now, because I remember when I was 17 too, the world revolved around, me, okay? How do you get them to get outside of themselves a little bit and care about that kid as well?
So typically what I do anytime our season's about to start, I let them know, like, hey, I'm crazy about this foundation, so I want you to be crazy with me.
Wow.
So I go ahead and start planning out everything, month by month, week by week, day by day, of like, hey, this is what we're gonna do, and this is how things are gonna roll, and I want you to help me with that. I want you to be my partner because we're a team, we're in this together.
Right.
So I think me just having that like energy with them kind of just brushes off on them, and they're like, oh my God, she's crazy. I want to join in on her craziness. So, like, I think that's.
So you just literally set the pace on it and say, get in my wake. You don't have to go as fast as me, but you better come with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that a good way to kind of say it? And look, I know you, Mackenzie, and I've known you for a long time. One of the other things that you do is you set the example. You know, a lot of times people think leadership is all about being the smartest person in the room, or being coming up with the wittiest quip, or whatever. No, leadership is consistency, consistently bringing the energy. I mean, there have been times when you've come to a manager's meeting and you've sat on the front row and you've lifted me up. You know, you know, contrary to popular belief, you know, I'm not fired up 24/7 all the time too. I'm human too, and I can get beat down because I get to hear a lot of the negative that goes on and whatnot. But when somebody like yourself comes in, who has now for 7 years come into managers meetings, and where do you sit when you come to a manager? What seat do you try to get?
Front row every single time.
Always. I mean, she makes sure she gets here early and gets on the front row. I am sure you have left with some Kenney DNA when I've gotten fired up. That's a little spittle hitting you throughout the meeting or whatever the case may be. But yeah, you sit on the front row. But I see that smile, or I see you're looking. It makes me better. You know what I mean? So I definitely see how your staff can follow you, and it's invaluable. And you know what else too that I'm so proud of is that I'm sure you're a good mom, and I'm sure you're gonna teach your child that life is about hard work, and life is about the attitude, the smile, the whatever you bring every day when you wake up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of see that in him now. Like he's only 9 months, you know, but he doesn't meet a stranger. Like, it's a little scary sometimes. We actually just started him at a new daycare this week, and first day I go to pick him up, and they're like, he is the only baby I've seen that hasn't cried on his first day of daycare from separation anxiety and this, that, and the other. And I was like, this kid is all me.
How did that happen?
I don't know. I guess just with how much personality I have, with how much of a people person, it just kind of went off to him a little bit too. So I just thought it was weird because, you know, I tell people all the time, like, he is the chillest baby. Like, it's scary, like, how chill he is. So
I think God does that to us. They give us a chill first baby,
yeah,
to make us have a second. And then the second one, which, by the way, I am a second one, we were a little more testing. Just so you know. We weren't quite as following the rules, you know. We kind of said, wait a minute, that's the proper path, but I see one over here that's a little bit overgrown and whatnot. That's the one I want to go down. So just giving you a heads up, when you have baby number 2, don't expect this.
Yeah. I hear that from everybody, so I'm fully prepared.
Well, tell us about your store itself. I mean, what are your goals? What are your dreams? What do you see? Where are you going to be, Mac, 5 years? I call you Mac. And by the way, if you get a nickname for me, that means I like you. Okay, so where are you going to be 5 years from now?
So my plan is to, you know, eventually one day own a store. Right now, since I do have my baby, like, just kind of being able to balance, like, the mom life and the work life, you know, it's going good for me, surprisingly. Like, I was expecting to, you know, have a lot on me, and, you know, I still do, but it's just being able to still have that, like, work life, you know, being in a mom balance is definitely doing good. But in 5 years, owning a store is definitely my big one. So
well, tell everybody who your owner is.
My owner's Derek.
Derek is a good guy too. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah, he really is, and he's he's the anti-Mac. He's just as calm as you can be fiery too. So I think you guys make a neat team. I really do, is in that store. And yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that you will reach that goal of ownership. There's no doubt in my mind that you have also grasped another concept that I fully believe in, and that is a lot of people out there, you don't understand sometimes that you say, oh man, I've got a baby now and I'm running a business, and how do I, you know how you do it all? You do it like you eat an elephant. You do it one bite at a time, and then you'll kind of find out something that's interesting. And I really think this is important to know. I found out a long time ago that the more I had on my plate, the better I was at all of the above. So some people think, and they think wrong, if you can just focus on this one thing and no, I mean, okay, I focused on it, I got it today, now what do I do? You know, and so you end up getting lazy on that one thing over time. But if you have multiple things going on that you have a desire to be great at all of the above, the more you have going on, the better off you're going to be. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. Especially, like, I tell people all the time, like, even when I'm not working, I'm still working. So, yeah, I have being a mom, but, you know, while I'm being a mom, I'm brainstorming stuff.
Sure.
My biggest Andy's Foundation stuff comes from, you know, me just just kind of outside work stuff.
Well, let's talk about a few of the things that you do that may be unique in Leland that you guys do to raise money, and maybe not even unique, just something that you've had good success with to raise money.
I think our most successful thing that we do is our pie in the face competition, and this is one of the things that makes my employees most driven. So what I typically do, day one of Andy's Foundation, I say, hey guys, who wants to volunteer yourself to get pie in the face? And most of the time I have 5, 6 people, but I'm like, come on, even though you might not get pie in the face, just put your name on the board. Let's just make it a competition. So throughout that time, I'll set a pie in the face date, and then most of my staff end up donating their tips or putting their own money into the jar.
How awesome is that?
Yeah, that blows my mind. Like this year, we had 3 of our cooks volunteer to shave their heads too if each of them raised $100. So
how much money?
$100 each,
Yeah.
but it was like all or nothing. So collectively, they had to raise $300.
I
So
got you.
so everybody was just putting money in there because we're like, you got to shave your head, you got to shave your head.
How long did it take you to get that $300 put in there so that they had to? Because I know it happened because I saw the video.
I want to say the first cook had his $100 in the first week, maybe, but collectively it took about a month. And then we were encouraging our guests, like, hey guys, like these cooks said that they're going to shave their heads, so put your money in there, put your money in there. So that was, but they did raise the most out of, so 3 of those people got pie in the face. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm proud of those guys. As a matter of fact, do you think you could raise another 100 if I came down there and let you pie me in the face?
Oh, absolutely. We actually have a customer. I post about him on Workplace too. His name's Chuck. He volunteered himself to get pie in the face on Sunday.
Okay.
So we are having a setup to where he is sitting up at our store to get pie in the face.
I'm not cheap, so it'll be $101 that you have to raise for me, okay?
Okay.
And you let me know when it's there that the Kenney Moore bucket is full with $100, and we will make arrangements for me to come down and me to get pie in the face.
Okay, I can do that.
Sound like a winner?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, look, I always like to end it with this, because you're young, you're a young mom, you're a young businesswoman, and you're doing a lot, you're tackling a lot. Are your parents proud of you?
Yeah, definitely.
Are they? Do they come in and eat with you from time to time?
Not a lot. They actually live in this area, so that hour and a half drive sometimes a little bit crazy. So if they do come down here, they're just coming to like visit me at my house.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I like being able to prove them wrong. Like flipping burgers for a living is actually beneficial for me. Not
It's beneficial for you on 2 fronts. One, I'd like to think that our culture, I think you walked in with all the goodies that we look for in a person, but I think we've amplified them through the years and made you understand what love your neighbor means and make you understand that it's not about you and that it's about serving others. But the thing that I find the most beautiful is that you shared that, and you've got wait staff throwing their tips in buckets to raise money for kids. And I promise you, those wait staff were just like you. I want to go get some money, put it in my pocket, okay? So I can put it in my gas tank or go to that party on Friday night or whatever. And now they're actually putting their tips in. So you're teaching them what love your neighbor means as well.
Yeah.
Mac, I know your parents are proud, but I want you to know I'm proud too. And thank you for
you.
being my guest today. I love you, girl.
Love you too.
All right. You guys, that's it. We'll see you next time.